The modern sleep supplement industry relies on a multi-billion-dollar biological lie. Retailers aggressively promote magnesium as a primary chemical shortcut to deep rest. The strategy fails at the brain's gate. Sleep is generated deep inside the hypothalamus, but most commercial magnesium cannot penetrate the blood-brain barrier. It bounces right off. Locked out of the brain's processing centers, these molecules are diverted through your kidneys and flushed out. Consuming these specific compounds fails to alter your internal sleep architecture. This process ensures high margins for supplement corporations and the production of very expensive urine. While some hacks are merely a waste of money, the fastest-growing sleep crutch on the market introduces active physiological danger. Melatonin is marketed as a harmless natural aid, yet the pharmaceutical industry mass-produces it on an industrial scale as a potent bioactive hormone. This line chart tracks the medical fallout. Over the past decade, pediatric hospital admissions for melatonin poisonings spiked by 503%. Most consumer gummies deliver a supraphysiological dose. A single 10 milligram supplement contains magnitudes more hormone than a human body naturally releases. Historical research on juvenile rats indicates that these massive, continuous doses can stunt reproductive development and induce testicular atrophy. Relying on synthetic hormones to cheat the 24-hour clock is a gamble with long-term human development. When we ignore genuine sleep hygiene, the brain's psychological architecture begins to fracture. Doctors have spent decades monitoring brain activity for the electrical signatures of systemic distress. Their research identifies nightmares as an acute biological distress beacon, a specific warning of internal psychological collapse. Short sleep duration correlates with a 150% increase in suicidal tendencies. However, chronic nightmares correlates with an 800% increase in suicidality. This data establishes nightmares as a highly sensitive biomarker for severe mental anguish and clinical hopelessness. By treating rest as optional, we risk triggering the brain's ultimate psychological self-destruct sequence. Given the risks of sleep loss, we must examine who profits from a society that never switches off. Geneticists have identified rare short sleepers, individuals with mutations in the DEC2 and ADRB1 genes who thrive on just 6 hours of rest. UC Berkeley is the birthplace of CRISPR, the technology designed to edit the very code of human life. CRISPR is so precise that its inventor, Jennifer Doudna, received the Nobel Prize for turning genetic manipulation into a clinical reality. Sleep deprivation costs the American economy $411 billion every year in lost productivity. To a capitalist system, those 8 hours of sleep are a massive drain, a time when you are neither producing nor consuming. CRISPR allows us to isolate the short sleep mutation. This creates a terrifying incentive for corporate interests to genetically edit our workforce, making the extraction of those hours a biological mandate. The ultimate goal of biohacking is often the conversion of our dormant hours into corporate output. Defeating both supplement scams and genetic dystopias requires a return to our innate physiological systems. Researchers at the Walter Reed Army Institute proved that we possess a natural mechanism to buffer ourselves against deprivation. By sleep banking, deliberately getting 9 hours of rest every night for a week prior to an all-nighter, you can stockpile a biological surplus. This chart tracks a sleep account. By sleeping longer in advance, you can stockpile a surplus of cognitive credit before facing incoming stress. Subjects who banked their sleep suffered 40% less cognitive impairment during total deprivation, keeping processing speeds above the threshold of failure. True physiological resilience is fundamentally built on respecting these natural biological rhythms, rather than endlessly attempting to synthetically bypass them. Biological optimization isn't a synthetic shortcut. It is a ledger you manage to secure your health and your humanity.